Hello, Professor Jagle and fellow students at Rogers State University. My name is Mike Day. Today I'd like to talk to you about business ethics. Business ethics is an important factor in the success or failure of any company. First of all, what is business? What is ethics? Well, there are a couple of different definitions according to the dictionary. One of its meaning is that the principles of conduct governing a group or an individual. And the second meaning, according to the dictionary, and one that's more important to me personally, is that ethics is the study of morality. Now, there are many accounts of employees and businesses making good and great ethical and moral decisions. One of the stories I'd like to tell you today is about a corporation called Merck, the Moral Corporation. And it's the story of Roy P. Vallagos. He was the CEO of Merck from the early 80s through the mid 90s. Now, Merck is a pharmaceutical corporation. And of course, they are a for-profit organization, for-profit company. Well, some of his research and development scientists came to him one day and told him that they had discovered that a certain drug that they were now producing for animals would also work in humans. And what this drug would cure was a dreaded and deadly disease called river blindness. Now, river blindness is a disease that is mainly in the tropical regions in some of the poorest countries in the world. So therefore, Roy automatically knew that his company would not be making a profit on this. But his decision was one of morality. His decision was one of ethics, whether or not to go forward with the research and development to produce this drug and distribute it to the poorer countries of the world. He knew that the research and development would far outweigh by millions of dollars what they would ever recoup by the sale of this drug. Roy made the decision to go ahead and do this drug for the benefit and goodness of all mankind. Now, this particular disease that it cured was like I said earlier, a parasitic disease, but the disease was one that caused intense pain and itching and eventual blindness and eventual death. So what he done saved the lives of millions and millions of people worldwide, mainly in the African, South American countries. But anyway, his research and development corporation, department overcame and got this valuable drug to the hands of the people that really needed it. Now, my father, Jimmy L. Day, started his own company, Deco Realtors, back in the early 1970s. Now, my father always told me that there was always a right way and a wrong way to do anything. Meaning, of course, ethically, a good way ethically and a good way unethically to do anything. My father had plenty of opportunities to do the unethical, but he always chose to do the ethical. And it always paid off in the long run. And this is also the case for any business. Now, there are bad ethics. I went over a couple of good ethic examples. Now, there are also several examples of bad ethics. There are also international businesses, lots of businesses that do business internationally, and my company that I work for presently is no exception. There are lots of countries, and we've done business with the country of Mexico. When we first started doing business with them, our product was held up at the borders. We would not cross, and for the longest time we didn't know why. We couldn't get our permits authorized by the government and by the Mexican government. Anyway, come to find out, the Mexican government was holding it up because they were expecting their bribes. In many countries, this was just the first one that we had encountered, but in many different countries throughout the world, bribes are not only expected, but they are also accepted by the society. It's just their formal way of doing business. There are many accounts of people in businesses making bad ethical and moral decisions as well. Lance Armstrong, in an article in the Tulsa World entitled, "Armstrong Left It All on the Table with Oprah," is about him coming clean and confessing to the performance-enhancing drugs that he had been taking, and admitting that that was how he had won 7 Tour de France races. Now, Lance Armstrong also started a cancer research and development program called Livestrong. And Livestrong was a charitable organization that benefited many thousands of people, not only in the United States but worldwide. By him coming clean and admitting this, it hurt Livestrong, and therefore it hurt the stakeholders involved in this cancer research company called Livestrong. Unfortunately, Lance Armstrong made the wrong ethical choices. He finally did come clean, but unfortunately it was too late. So in conclusion, I'd just like to emphasize that ethics is an important factor in the success or failure of a business or even an individual. Thank you very much.